right now. Let's get to our first guest today. He is one of the deputy athletics directors up at Syracuse. He is a former Orange football player in his own right. He is Torrey Ball. Hey, Torrey, thanks so much for hopping on today.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited.
All right. Yeah, I want to get into the tickets and the reseating and all this. I think I spied you in the background at the Wake game on Saturday, Torrey. If I am correct, correct me if I'm wrong. But man, we've been talking hoops here to start. That could not have been a very fun trip back. I imagine after a tough game like that.
It was not. Yeah, I'm usually at pretty much every game. I work with Red directly, and so work with him closely and. I was there at the game, and it wasn't pretty. But all I hope, I've been at Syracuse for 8 months, but I was here playing, and we had some of those losses when I was playing. And all I can say is I hope you learn how to bounce back from that. Like, you have to learn something from that loss. You have to.
That is the hope, Torrey, and we'll begin seeing that Wednesday night in the Dome when Louisville comes to town. Yeah, just happened to see you there. I'm like, oh, there's Torrey. I know we're having him on Monday, but here we are. We're into this new seat selection, the reseating, everything going on in the Dome. We've been trying to. I feel this is a very informational process, right? Because there's so much new stuff going on that people literally have never had to deal with before as ticket holders at the Dome. I know you've put out information that's been out for a month. The actual for real process started last week on Thursday. What's the early results, the early returns? How's the process going? How have things happened here the last few days?
You know what? We have seen a lot of excitement. We've seen a lot of people come and be hand raisers and say, "Hey, I want tickets. I want season tickets for football. I want to make sure I lock my spot in." Be that old season ticket holders that have come back, new season ticket holders that have never been a part of our Syracuse family. But then our response from our renewals is the best that it's been. It's I will say, I have an opportunity to say this. It's much better than it has been over the last 3 to 4 years. And so we are excited about that.
Yeah, no, go ahead, Torrey.
I was just saying a lot of what you hit on about the information part of things. I think it's been I've spent a lot of my time thinking about how can I relay this message to fans, making sure they understand that, we want to be number one in the ACC in attendance. We want to give our guys and girls, the guys and our female and male student athletes an opportunity to win championships. We want to set records in attendance. And all of the things that we say we want to do, this is the process that it comes with, right? The reseating, some of the other things that we want to do, the Wi-Fi, all of the things that we are doing in the Dome is to elevate our fan base to where we want to be. And that comes, with, we want to win championships, and this is what it comes with.
Torrey, and obviously all those other upgrades are great. And, it comes into the seating. There will be fewer seats in the building. So by necessity of it, not every seat can literally be in the same place. That's how math works. So I think most people understand that by now.
Right.
One of the main, I don't know if concerns is the right word, but I've talked to a lot of really long-time season ticket holders. They go back to literally some of them have had their seats since the Dome opened, and their main concern is okay, I get I'm not going to sit literally in row this, seat that, whatever. What do you tell the people that's just am I going to be able to sit essentially where I was sitting? Do you feel that's going to be the case for most people that are trying to retain their seats, or how much movement do you think is just going to be necessary based on the new layout?
Our team has crunched the numbers, and we've seen what's coming in. We've seen, what we've done over the past years, and with projections. What I can say, I feel comfortable saying this: if season ticket members have had seats in 101 row J, seats 1 and 2, they will get close to the same sight lines as they had, in 2023 and 2024. I feel really comfortable saying that.
Okay, yeah, because I feel that's realistically, I think most people get it, but I think realistically that's been the biggest question I've been getting over this time. And another one is, a lot of these longtime season ticket holders, Torrey, that I get it. There's a donation technically attached to every ticket right now, so technically they all are donors. But they're not the top of the line, the primo, the big bucks donors. People are concerned about being jumped in the line by people that are writing a check. Like, for people that have been like a 20-year season ticket holder, how much does that, establish, I guess, for better lack of a term, that they're spot in line going forward?
Right. So I've spoke about this a bunch of times, and I hope people start to really pick through the minutia of their feelings. But we are ranking priority by longevity of giving. And that's, if you've been a season ticket holder for that long, the longevity of your giving, we're going to reward you for that with bonus points in our system. So one thing that we knew going into this, our group works with a passionate group of season ticket members, but some of them are single game buyers, some of them are students, called the Q's Council, and they told us exactly how they wanted this process to go. Exactly what was important to them, and they weren't indicative of every single person in the fan base, but they're indicative of a wide variety of fans that come to our games, and we took their feedback into account when we built this system. Obviously, nobody can go 10 for 10, right? If you had 10 opinions, we probably give you 7 of the 10, not 10 of the 10, but we feel like we created a ranking system that really rewards longevity, rewards people that have had seats in the dome for 20 plus years.
I had a caller a few weeks ago ask me this question, Torrey, which is somebody they fit into this category, like a longtime season ticket holder, and full credit. Nobody ever thinks about other people when they're doing this, but it's like I'm thinking of actually, I'm probably going to have a decent number, like of maybe getting a quote unquote better seat, moving over a section, but I don't want to accidentally interrupt like a large group that might be sitting there, like so. Is that something that's taken into account? Like, if somebody's like, okay, I'm high on the list, I want to move over a section, do they look at it and say, oh man, there's a large group that's sitting there, and work on it? How would something like that work?
So how we're handling, to part of your question, how we're handling groups, we are asking those people to reach out to us, because the one thing that I've been telling everybody throughout this process, we got to be the best at customer service. Like, if I want to sit with my group of 10 friends, we've sat together for the last 10 years, I want to be able to do that for you. You might move a little bit up, you might move a little bit over, your group might not have space in the same exact section, but we want to handle those groups with the white glove service that they deserve, because they shouldn't be disadvantaged because we're going into this dome reseat. Everybody's going to be a little bit, everybody's going to change a little bit, but we want to help those groups out as much as possible. So what I would say to people who are worried about their groups, worried about, hey, this person is priority point 1,000 and I'm 2,033, I would say call the ticket office. Talk to a person, and I promise you they will help you find a solution.
Yeah, because that's come up, right? Like, you might have a group of people that either maybe they bought their tickets at different times, right, and they ended up sitting next to each other, or they've acquired more seats or whatever, right? So, like, not necessarily every way they bought tickets would be a part of the same thing. So that's something, I guess, you're telling them the best way is to just be proactive here, right, as opposed to everybody waiting their own turn.
Right. And the easiest way to go about it is buy your seats now. If you're going through that situation, put your money down, buy your seats now, talk to someone, because the seating process, the actual seating process isn't going to happen until May. So you have a lot of time to talk to somebody, really try to understand the process, understand, where potential options are for you. And then when the seating process comes, it'll be much easier for you and your entire group. And I think that's what I would say for everybody. If you're having concerns, if you're worried about potentially your seat location or anything, it's better to call in, write an email, ask us, rather than assuming something that is probably not true.
Torrey Ball is with us, Deputy Athletics Director. And Torrey, my understanding is this, yes, that every season ticket holder going to this at some point has gotten an email with
Right.
information to their specific ticket rep as well. Like there's a bunch of these people. You know what it is? I do that. Yeah, people get emails and they're like, oh, that looks like junk, delete. Like people should go back and like find this thing, right? Like there's actual pertinent information in there.
Every email that comes from us you might not want it, but there's a nugget in there. So you need to be looking. You need to make sure you read those. But we do have our ticket reps really hitting, trying to hit every single account before that May deadline to make sure they get a personal touch from us, make sure they understand the process, make sure they understand what they have to do, what's the next step in the process, how they can increase their priority points. Because you know what? A lot of people are worried. And to your point earlier, they want to move up. They want to move to that 50-yard line seat. And you can talk to someone, you can work through it with someone, and they'll help you understand what you have to do to get to that level. And so what I'd say is read your email, call us. We're easy to find. What did Dion say? I'm not hard to find. So we aren't hard to find, and I think our fans just need to know that. That's the easiest way to quell some of those concerns.
Yeah, look at that, because I think that's, I don't know what you've found, Torrey. The main thing I've found is people don't like the uncertainty, right? It's maybe not the change that's bothering you, it's the not knowing. Is that the majority of the questions that you've been hearing through the last month or so?
I think that is one of them. Why can't I have my same exact seat? Like I want to take that piece of bench. Like I wanted that piece of bench again. No, but people ask about the same seat. They asked about some of the student section changes. Some of them. The group question that you asked me was a good one because a lot of people have been asking that. But really, the concerns about the uncertainty can honestly be helped by our fan taking a little bit of action on their end to really read those emails, really try to understand the process. I'll come on and talk to you, Brian, whenever you want, and I'll talk about this issue or this opportunity. It shouldn't be an issue; it's an opportunity for us to get better. But some of these concerns that our fan base is thinking about, it really can be fixed, or you can learn more by just reading those emails or even just calling the ticket office.
You mentioned student section staying the same for hoops. Obviously, it is changing for football. If I have this right, correct me if I'm wrong, Torrey. The marching band is moving to the opposite end zone. The student section is moving to, give or take, surround the marching band at what would be the east end zone of the stadium. What do you think that is going to create in the building, for one, and what does that allow you to do by re-maneuvering around where other people will be sitting because of that?
I think having the student section as one big conglomerate of students in one place is going to make the place even louder. People are going to thrive off of that student section energy. Players will get the opportunity to run out of the tunnel and run straight into the student section and, see a grove of students just there as they run out of the tunnel. And when you score a touchdown, I didn't score many touchdowns in my entire life, but when I score a touchdown, I want to see my friends. I want to, give high fives, give dap, really, really engage the students. And this change will give them that opportunity. But I also think the visual of it for the student sections, like when you opposing fans see a sea of orange, I think that is probably one of the coolest things that I've taken from some of the schools that I've been at. Like when you see that, it's kind of intimidating. You see 5,500 students staring back at you is really intimidating. And I think that's what we get by moving those students. I also think we give them a better location to get into the building. For students, it's hard. You want to make everything easy for them. Turnkey service is what it has to be to make sure students get into games and they feel comfortable doing, what students do. And by moving them to that section, we gave them a larger section. We made it easier for their ingress and egress. And we just made an all around better experience for them on that east side.
You know, I look at the student section, and I've not been shy of, up until the last couple of years, being, critical of Otto's Army, and,
Right.
it had been very inconsistent over the years. And realistically, the last, I don't know if it's 2 or 3 seasons, it's been the best and most consistent it has been. Did that give you confidence that you said increase the seating and all that? Did it give you confidence to do that it feels like there is a better organized backbone to the whole thing now, that you feel like it will fill out and be there consistently every game?
I've talked to Otto's Army leadership a couple of times, and they've done a really good job. They made me feel comfortable. The way in which the student section decision played out, I think talking with them made me feel comfortable with it. Understanding the pulse of the students made me feel comfortable. Looking at the numbers, we've sold out of student season tickets for the last 2 years. So just looking at the number, it made me feel a little bit more comfortable that they could, get 500 more seats and utilize them. I also looked at the attendance last year at some of our games, even some of the noon games that are traditionally bad for students, and they showed up to those early ones. And so I really feel like, as a university, we felt comfortable giving them those additional 500 seats, knowing that they'd show up and they'd be really, really loud.
All right, Torrey, just a couple more things for you. Fran Brown, what have you noticed ticket-wise early on here that the Fran Brown effect has been?
I think there's been excitement all around. I think people are excited to see his recruiting class. They're excited to see, what he's going to do next. And from a ticket sales perspective, we're trending upward. Like, everything is moving a little bit faster. Everything is kind of, it's not night and day, but it's definitely, I definitely think our fan base is energized. That's the one thing that I can say. They're energized with the move to Fran, and I think he's doing a good job. He's doing exactly what John wanted when he made that decision to hire him, and he's energized our fan base in a way that I didn't think could happen, but it did. And look where we are now.
It's certainly been an exciting 2 months. So it's been, a little bit more than 2 months now. It's been the wild times, as you know, Torrey, watching this all go down. Last thing for you, just lay out the immediate future for us, ticket-wise. So we know the process is officially underway. What are the next few dates and time periods that ticket holders need to look out for?
Right. So February 20th, men's basketball tickets go on sale. Then priority deadline isn't until May. So people have a little bit of time to grow their priority points. If you want to move seats, you want to donate, you want to, try to vie to get that next level of seat, you have an opportunity up until May. And then towards the end of May, we'll start actually seating people. People will get the opportunity to start seating themselves. And so that process will go through May and June, and then we'll get basketball in there, and men's and women's lacrosse, all of those sports as well. So those are the next few dates that are coming up here.
All right, so lots to happen here over the next few months. I'm sure we'll touch base multiple times, Torrey, over this time period, just to keep people informed and on track toward next year. But always good to chat, my friend. Thanks for hopping on for a few.
Thank you, Brian. And the one thing that I'll say to the fan base is, hey, just give us a call. We're easy. We'll give you the service that you deserve.
There you go. There he is, Torrey Ball, the Deputy Athletics Director up there at Syracuse. We're trying to answer these questions for you about the seats and the future, and it is confusing times at the Dome, simply because this is the first, and I don't want to say only, but this is not going to be like we're doing it again next year kind of thing. Like, this has literally been something that hasn't happened in 40 years, and it is happening now all at once. So we're just trying to get the information to you so you can figure out what the heck's going on with your tickets to next year, because I know this. You've told me this. You want to see Fran Brown? Yeah. There we are. There it is. It all comes back to Fran. All right, let's hit a break. More to come after this as we roll along on this Monday here in the Q's, here in Utica, here in Rome on Q Sports Talk and ESPN Radio.